Alright, we've arrived at Over The Edge 99, taking place at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City, Missouri. The date is May 23rd, 99, one of the darkest days in pro wrestling history. And we've got around 16,500 fans inside the arena with an estimated 430,000 fans watching on pay-per-view. I've dreaded covering this pay-per-view for a long time and I don't think there's a right way to do it. I debated stopping the review after the accident and ignoring the final matches of the show, but this whole series is supposed to cover every match and every promo of the Monday Night War, so I'm going to look at the entire event from start to end. A donation's going to be made to the Owen Hart Foundation from revenue gained in this video and the next episode of Reliving the War that takes a look at the Owen Hart tribute show. There is no monetary gain for me covering these shows, and the idea is to do a little good from covering what's going to be the most difficult uploads I ever put on this channel. If WWE claim this video, I'll still make a healthy donation to the Owen Hart Foundation, and I'll keep you guys updated on this in the coming weeks. So let's get over the edge behind us by checking out everything that happened inside the Kemper Arena. The show opens up with an excellent video package featuring The Undertaker. The Phenom meets Steve Austin tonight in the main event, and if Undertaker wins, he's promised to sacrifice Austin tomorrow night on Raw in the name of the higher power. The logo reveal's also really well done, featuring a rattlesnake wrapping itself around the Undertaker symbol. All of this means nothing on the grand scheme of things, I know, but it's worth pointing out that the overall presentation for this show was on point. Vince and Shane McMahon are going to referee the main event, but Vince got injured on Sunday Night Heat. Shane ordered Austin to wrestle Midian, but Vince took Stone Cold's place and, well, this happened. It looks like Vince won't be refereeing the WWF title match, but we'll see how this plays out during the show. And yes, trust me, I know it's awkward talking about things that happened before and after the accident, and it's just as weird for me as it is for you. Also on Sunday Night Heat, the Hardy Boys took on Goldust and the Blue Meanie. Michael Hayes is currently managing the Hardy Boys, as we found out on Raw, and a feud began to heat up when the Brood gave Matt and Jeff a bloodbath after the bout. These two teams would have quite the rivalry moving forward, and it's interesting to see how it all began. Back to the pay-per-view, and our opening match features Kane and X-pac defending their tag team championships against D'Lo and Mark Henry. We get D'Lo and X-pac starting things off, and these two always worked incredibly well together. D'Lo gets the early advantage, but X-pac gets a little help from the referee when performing an arm drag takedown. Great stuff. All this doesn't matter though when Pac gets punched in the face. Waltman proves to be the better wrestler though when he takes D'Lo down once again with a back suplex, and this gets followed up with a spinning heel kick. X-pac gets his opponent in position for the Bronco Buster, but D'Lo moves out of the way, and for once, X-pac doesn't get his ball smashed in the turnbuckle. Big Mark Henry tags in, and so X-pac looks to the Big Red Machine. The pop Kane gets here is fantastic. Kane lays in a few of his signature uppercuts, but Mark gives as good as he gets. Kane takes a few right hands, and Mark seriously impresses with a press slam, but Kane no-sells it and Mark takes a few clotheslines followed by a dropkick. Big Kane pulling off dropkicks. I think X-pac's starting to influence the Big Red Machine quite a bit. Mark runs away, he tags in D'Lo. D'Lo's in absolutely no rush to get inside the ropes, and he shouts, "Ah damn," when his punches have no effect whatsoever. He does manage to pull off a nice backdrop counter by landing on his feet, but a big boot to the face puts D'Lo down to the mat. In comes X-pac with a spinning wheel kick, but Mark Henry ensures X-pac's balls won't leave this match unscathed. D'Lo and Mark then take turns punishing Waltman, with both guys performing leg drops. Mark misses a big splash though, and this forces Kane into the ring, but the referee gains order and D'Lo delivers an over-the-edge chinlock. We then see D'Lo's running powerbomb. Actually, we don't see it because the referee was in the way. And D'Lo then tries a top rope corkscrew, but Pac moves out of the way, and the crowd are now desperate to see Waltman make a tag. Kid makes it to his corner. Kane comes in with a big body slam to Mark Henry and a tilt-a-whirl power slam to D'Lo. Kane's performing really well tonight, by the way, and he continues to impress with a reverse suplex on D'Lo before taking to the skies and wiping out both of his opponents and his tag team partner. Back in the ring, Kane keeps his momentum going with a top rope clothesline that only gets him a 2. So in comes X-pac, and there's a Bronco Buster right there to D'Lo, though Mark squishes Pac and the Bronco busting quickly comes to an end. Mark seemingly forgot about Kane though, and our match comes to an end with the world's strongest man taking a chokeslam in the middle of the ring. The champions successfully defend their tag team titles, and what a great performance right here from Kane. One of the Big Red Machine's best matches of the year, and a match that proves how popular he was as a babyface. After the match, Michael Cole announces that McMahon suffered an ankle injury and it's unlikely that he'll be involved in tonight's main event, though Cole will give an update when more information becomes available. So, Al Snow believed that Head was the Hardcore champion. Hardcore Holly wanted a shot at the belt, so he made Al wrestle Head for the championship. Al used his new friend, Pierre, to pin Head during a match on Sunday Night Heat. So, in Al's mind, Pierre, the one-eyed deer, was the new champion. Angered by this stupidity, Hardcore Holly destroyed Pierre and Snow gave Pierre a send-off during Raw's War. But Hardcore Holly showed up and Snow attacked Bombastic Bob. Snow then agreed to put the title on the line once again against Hardcore Holly on pay-per-view, and so here we are. Gonna be honest, I feel these two have wrestled each other way too much, and at this point, things need changed up. Before the match, Holly said he used to have an imaginary friend when he was little, but Daddy Holly didn't believe Bob when little Joe broke a lamp. So young Bob got punished by his dad, just like Al's gonna get punished tonight in this hardcore match. Holly then says, and I quote, "I will take an implementary destruction and give these people the opportunity to see what's in that sick mind of yours." An implementary destruction? Yeah, okay. Al's brought Pierre to the pay-per-view, but he doesn't get a chance to use him as a weapon. Instead, the match goes to the outside where Snow gets dropped on the barrier and Holly gets thrown into the ring steps. Back in the ring, Snow gets hit with a bacon tray, but Holly struggles when trying to use a fire extinguisher. It does go off when Holly gets whacked though, so thankfully that fire safety apparatus is in full working order. As is tradition with WWF hardcore matches, we end up going through the crowd, but this time the competitors end up at the concession stands where food items now become deadly weapons. Popcorn, drinks, funnel cakes, everything gets used here, and it looks like Holly legit has issues with his eyesight after getting some sugar or flour thrown in his face. The two hit each other with everything in sight before making their way back down the ringside, with Al coming back over the barrier with a leg drop. Snow then sinks his boot right into Bob's little spark plug before grabbing a steel chair and a table, but Al ends up taking a Falcon Arrow from Bob Holly, and Jim Ross says this move is called the Holocaust, not even joking. Snow kicks out of 2, although it looked like a 3. Holly then takes a snowplow, but he too kicks out of 2. So Snow tries to grab Head, and he has to hit a low blow to break free from Hardcore Holly. Al grabs his mannequin Head, he swings, he misses, he takes a DDT on a chair, but he still kicks out of 2. Our bout ends when Holly sets up a table for the final move of the match, but it's Holly who ends up going through the wood with a powerbomb from Al Snow. Snow is still the hardcore champion, and yeah, I still think we need to move on right now from these two wrestling each other. It's hard hitting for sure, but it's time to change things up. After the match, Patterson and Briscoe give an update on Vince McMahon. Briscoe says an ambulance has been called, and Patterson says it looks like McMahon's ankle has been broken. The next match was scheduled to be The Godfather vs Blue Blazer. A hype video for the match played out and Jim Ross said there was some sort of problem, so a replay from Sunday Night Heat shown that featured an interview from Owen Hart. I'm going to play audio and video that shows what happened next. This is what we heard while watching the show live on pay-per-view.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you're doing live television, a lot of things can happen, and sometimes they are not good. The Blue Blazer, as we know, as Owen Hart, was going to make a very spectacular superhero-like entrance from the rafters, and something went terribly wrong here. Certainly, Owen Hart, a very serious situation here at this point in time, is being attended to by the EMTs. This is not a part of the entertainment here tonight. This is as real can be here. And the EMTs are tending to Owen in the ring now. And we are at a little bit of a loss for this situation. I've been doing this for more years than I would like to admit. And this is it's one of the most shocking things I've ever seen. This is not your typical wrestling storyline. This is a real situation. Owen Hart was to ascend in a superhero-like entrance from the ceiling of this arena, and something terribly went wrong. I don't know if the harness broke or what the malfunction was. And we are going to keep our cameras on this crowd at this point in time. Owen Hart was scheduled to descend from the top here, the Kemper Arena, in again a superhero-like entrance in his blue blazer character. Something has gone terribly wrong with the equipment that Owen Hart was being lowered down to the ring, and the paramedics are working on Owen Hart. Let me tell you, we are going to have, and we've already had some entertaining things. This is not a part of the show. I don't know any better way to put it. This is not a wrestling angle. This is real life. Owen Hart, with the equipment malfunctioning, is being attended to right now by a host of EMTs. We are not going to put this on television. It is not a sensationalistic attempt to leave a mark here on this event. It was, again, we don't know exactly what malfunctioned. Obviously something in the apparatus, we assume, and that's all we're doing is assuming that went wrong, unless Owen inadvertently released himself before he was near the ring. So again, we will have our mixed tag team matchup. We will have the rest of this broadcast, but the bigger issue now is that a human being, Owen Hart, has been terribly injured here on this live broadcast. So we will, again, there's been so many things that have happened here, but right now nothing is more important than the health and the welfare of not only a great athlete, but a very unique and a good human being who is now being attended to in the ring. And again, I can only reiterate the best way that I know how, and if I'm not being as articulate as I would like to be, I hope that you can understand that this was not, I repeat, this was not a wrestling angle. This was not part of the storyline. This was a terribly, terribly tragic situation, and the EMTs now are giving Owen Hart external heart massage. There are several folks are there to attend to him, and Jerry Lawler back joining me here. King, I was just reiterating the fans, this is not a part of the show. We're here to entertain and have fun, but this is neither.
No, it doesn't look good at all.
It's truly, truly baffling why this show continued on after what just happened. Jeff Jarrett, Owen Hart's tag team partner, has a pre-match interview before his mixed tag match, and you feel so bad for both Jeff and Debra right here.
Owen Hart, I'm praying for you, buddy.
And I am too.
Damn it, Debra, let's go. Owen,
Owen,
you're in our prayers, buddy.
Owen, we love you.
You've got competitors not in the right state of mind at all going out there to wrestle, but that's just one of the many reasons why this show should have ended right here. I'd written out around 2 paragraphs about why I felt this show should have ended, but rather than repeat what's already been said 1,000 times, I will say I know there's a lot at stake. I know there's contractual obligations with pay-per-view providers and millions of dollars are on the line too, but it's crazy to me that the decision was made to keep the show going when Owen was still in the ring. It's kind of like there was no thought put into the final decision, and it's one of those things, as a lifelong WWF and WWE fan, that I've never been able to forgive them for. There will be an update later on in the pay-per-view regarding Owen, and it's one of the most heart-wrenching things you'll ever hear announced on any TV show, never mind a wrestling show. But it's an announcement that shouldn't have aired on pay-per-view. The show should have been cancelled, and you'll never convince me otherwise. Before I go off on a tangent that no one wants to hear, I do want to say one more thing. I have nothing but respect for Jim Ross. That poor man was put in a terrible, terrible position where he had to explain to viewers what had happened, while also explaining that the show was going to continue. I couldn't imagine the fear and panic going on in and around that ring right now, and how Jim kept his cool while trying to tell fans that this wasn't supposed to happen, I'll never know. I haven't watched this pay-per-view version of Over the Edge the whole way through in a very long time, and it's tough. It really is tough. Double J and Debra come out for their tag team match, visibly shook up, yet they're going to do as they're told and try to put on a wrestling match. Venis is teaming up with Nicole tonight. There's a weird love triangle or love rectangle going on between these two teams, but who cares, right? I watched this show live when all this happened, and it was really difficult to watch after what happened. I remember listening to commentary very closely in hopes of some sort of update. Venis and Jarrett start the match off, and do remember, these guys and every performer on this night were only doing their jobs. They were doing what they were instructed to do. Venis delivers a butterfly suplex and Jarrett replies with a swinging neckbreaker. The back and forth action continues with a single arm DDT from Jarrett followed by a spine buster from Venis, and then Venis tags in Bass, a woman who previously he was doing everything to try and avoid. The next exchange is pretty weird. Debra slaps Nicole and Nicole does nothing about it. Debra then tries to choke Bass out, and again Nicole doesn't seem too eager to get physical after the move's been broken up. She then goes into a fit of rage as she dashes in at Debra, but Debra moves out of the way, and it's almost like Nicole's been stuck to the corner with super glue. She can't move at all. So Debra rocks Bass's head off the turnbuckle a few times. It's not great. Jarrett and Venis tag in and Jarrett applies a sleeper. Venis breaks free and we see his usual knee strikes and Russian leg sweep. Val then misses a second rope elbow drop and we see the stroke from Double J, but Nicole Bass breaks up the cover. Our match ends with Debra trying to break a guitar over Nicole's back, but it doesn't quite work. So Nicole rips Debra's top off while Double J tries to use the guitar on Venis. Venis dodges the attack, Jarrett takes a back suplex, and Venis picks up the win following a money shot. Debra still looks distraught. A lot of people say you can see wrestlers during this show looking angry and upset, but I honestly think a lot of folks we're going to see on this show are just trying their best to stay in character. It's hard to tell honestly, but I'd assume there's a mixture of both on display, guys and girls trying to remain professional during a very difficult time. Bass kisses Venis after the match and it appears that Val liked it. It also looks like Nicole's bleeding from that guitar shot, but that's how it ended, and Over the Edge continues on. Incredibly, Vince decided to keep his broken ankle storyline going on as he's seen get loaded into an ambulance backstage. Shane McMahon comes along to make fun of his dad while saying the Undertaker's gonna leave the show tonight as the new WWF champion, but again it's really difficult to care about any of this. It was tough back then and it still feels really pointless even now. Road Dogg vs Billy Gunn's our next matchup, and the beginning of Road Dogg's promo was cut from the WWE Network. Here's what he said before addressing Billy Gunn.
Owen Hart, first of all, I'm praying for you, brother.
Road Dogg calls Billy a PUSS, while Billy says he's been carrying Road Dogg around like a bad case of the clap for the past few years. So here we go, the Outlaws explode at Over the Edge. Billy's definitely the one to watch here. It seems Road Dogg's fallen back on his usual stick, which does work well by the way, but Billy's trying something different, and this heel turn feels more like a make or break situation for BA Billy Gunn. Billy shows no remorse towards his old tag team partner as he punches and chokes Road Dogg at the opening bell. Road Dogg replies with a back elbow followed by a clothesline out of the ring. JR makes mention of Road Dogg's competitive spirit right here, but that'll only get you so far, Mr. DOGG. Roddy has to retrieve Billy from the entranceway and Gunn takes quite a bump over the ring steps. Jesse then mocks his old partner back in the ring before getting thrown out moments later, and as Billy smashes Road Dogg's head into the ring steps, it's really hard to ignore how silent the audience is. Back in the ring, Billy performs a jackhammer before applying a chinlock, and when Road Dogg gets out, he ends up taking a power slam. Billy keeps the pressure on with a jumping clothesline. The camera angle did the move no favours here. We get more chin abuse as the crowd remains silent, and even the commentators are struggling a little to stay motivated. The atmosphere has been completely sucked out of the arena, and you get the feeling that everyone's just waiting to hear some news. Road Dogg gets out again, and again he gets put right back to the mat, and Road Dogg then finds himself in a sleeper hold as we approach the end of our match. Roddy gets out, he applies a sleeper of his own, he follows this up with a great looking facebuster, and he then performs the shake, rattle and knee drop. Billy kicks out, he ends up going out to grab the timekeeper's hammer, and Road Dogg gets clocked on the outside. Road Dogg does kick out of the follow-up cover and he is able to smack Billy with a forearm shot, but Gunn wins it by using some wrist tape to catch Road Dogg by the throat. Billy hits the famouser and badass Billy Gunn wins it Over the Edge. This match should have been a whole lot more, but it's understandable why it underdelivered. It's ridiculous to expect any good performances tonight, so you can't really hold it against anybody. But there you have it, Billy Gunn defeats Road Dogg at Over the Edge. Shane McMahon gets interviewed backstage and he says he's sorry Vince got injured earlier. However, Shane says he'll also be a fair referee and he's going to call it right down the middle, 1, 2, 3. Next up, we've got the corporate ministry consisting of the Acolytes, Bossman and Midian taking on the Union, Ken Shamrock, Test, The Big Show and Mick Foley. We have an elimination tag match here, and we begin with Viscera and Test. Big spots included Viscera's falling power slam right here, followed by a dropkick from Test. Vis fired back with a belly-to-belly suplex, but instead of pinning his opponent, he decided to tag in Bradshaw. A big boot sends Justin Hawk out of the ring, and he gets super aggressive when running back inside the ropes. But Test stays on Bradshaw with a sidewalk slam before going upstairs for a very impressive elbow drop. Folks tend to forget how good Test was at pulling off this move. Unfortunately though, the big man's first to get eliminated. Farouk breaks up the cover and Bradshaw hits the clothesline from hell. So in comes Ken Shamrock as the Union go down to 3 men. Farouk has to save his partner again when Shamrock goes for an armbar submission, but it doesn't really matter, seeing as Bradshaw taps out moments later to the ankle lock. Big Vis comes in and Shamrock feels miserably when trying a crucifix pin. It looks like Bossman's going to be the last man to enter the ring for the corporate ministry, seeing as Viscera and Farouk start quick tagging each other in and out. But Shamrock pulls off a nice modified belly to belly on Farouk before applying another ankle lock. Ken refuses to let go of the hold. He does take a little break to suplex the referee before going right back to breaking Farouk's ankle. So Ken gets DQ'd and the Union only have 2 men left. The Big Show's quick to even things out though when he pins Farouk after a showstopper. The Bossman decides he's going to leave the match after taking a shoulder block from the big man, but Show chases Bossman back up the ramp and the match remains 2-on-2. We then see the Bossman taking a bail from the Big Show, some serious strength right there, but Viscera comes in for the assist when Bossman struggles to knock Show down to the mat. Bossman then applies a chin lock, Show breaks free and he looks for another chokeslam. Viscera interferes and so Mankind joins the party too. All 4 men are in the ring and Big Show decides to casually body slam Viscera, just like it's nothing. This leads to some pretty unceremonious eliminations though, and Show and Viscera decide to fight all the way back up the entranceway and through the curtain. So it comes down to Bossman and Mankind. Bossman stays in control by throwing Mick into the steel steps and he follows this up with chinlock number 2. Though Mick's able to break free and he plants Bubba with a double arm DDT. We then see Mr. Socko and Bossman gives it up, so the Union defeat the corporate ministry in a match that wasn't too bad honestly. You don't expect great things in these elimination tags, but I thought they did okay, all things considered.
Here in Kansas City, tragedy befell the World Wrestling Federation and all of us. Owen Hart was set to make an entrance from the ceiling, and he fell from the ceiling. And I have the unfortunate responsibility to let everyone know that Owen Hart has died. Owen Hart has tragically died from that accident here tonight.
Apparently Jim Ross was only told what happened seconds before he had to make this terrible announcement. It's so sad. Owen was only 34 years old and to go out the way he did, it felt pointless. It's just tragic. You really can't put it into words. Now that the news had spread around the locker room and fans in attendance would also be aware of what happened through word of mouth, the atmosphere in the arena changes once again. While fans would have been eager to boo Triple H in China, they instead stay silent. Instead of giving The Rock his normal pop as soon as his music plays, it's merely a round of applause for one of the company's biggest babyfaces. Going out there to wrestle when one of your teammates and one of your friends just died in that exact spot would have been unimaginable. And it's something I'll just never wrap my head around. It's so tragic. He was a father, you know. It's bad enough that a man died in the ring and the investigation into what happened needed to begin right away. To have folks go out there and work in front of a crowd who just witnessed a man falling to his death, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Just to go back for a moment, Triple H attacked The Rock during a pre-match promo. Hunter wanted to take Rock's arm cast off, but Mick Foley showed up to help Rock out. Unfortunately for Mick, he too got attacked by this new, more aggressive Triple H we've been seeing for the past few weeks. So Hunter walks down the ramp and he tells the referee to count Rocky out. Triple H and China look a little shook up as they stand in the ring, as does Earl Hebner. But here comes The Rock and the guys get in the ring to try and focus on the match. Again, it's weird covering this bout and the bout that follows, but let's get through it. Rock goes on offense first and Hunter takes a few right hands followed by some kicks in the corner. Hunter then takes a clothesline before getting sent to the outside, and even though Hunter's able to throw Rocky over the barrier, Rock stays in control and Triple H gets decimated. Rock hits Triple H's head off the Spanish announce table and he speaks a little Rock Spanish to fans watching at home. This part has also been cut out of the WWE Network.
The Rock kicking your monkey assy. Oh, and The Rock loves you.
Triple H then manages to get that cast off Rock's arm and Hunter uses the cast as a weapon. Rock had plenty of chances to use it against Hunter, but he decided not to. Back in the ring, Rock sells his broken arm as Triple H lays in the punches and kicks. Rock gets choked out and Earl Hebner has to pull Triple H away. Rock replies with a few right hands of his own, and Rock isn't out yet as he hits Hunter with a Samoan drop. For a man with a broken arm, he sure can wrestle. Rock ducks a few clotheslines, but he can't avoid the Harley Race knee. He gets knocked out of the ring where Chyna smashes Rock's arm against the announce table before clobbering the Great One with a forearm. Triple H then goes out to do some damage, but he ends up crashing into Rocky and both men hit the floor. Back in the ring, Rock performs a DDT, but Triple H remains laser focused on the injured body part. Chyna watches on as Hunter drops his knee over Rocky's arm multiple times. Hunter then looks for a submission, but Rock won't give up, so Triple H wraps his opponent's arm around the ring post. Jim Ross thinks Earl Hebner should stop the match and Jerry Lawler agrees, but still, The Rock fights back and it's no good. He gets dumped out of the ring where Triple H uses the ring steps and ring post to do as much damage as possible. The selling of the arm is absolutely terrible here. Rock completely forgets his arm's supposed to be broken as he counters an Irish whip before setting Hunter up for a rock bottom. Triple H avoids it with a knee to the midsection and the People's Champ takes a DDT. Chyna gives Hunter a chair, Triple H looks to end it, but Earl Hebner takes the chair away from Hunter. Earl then gives Triple H a hard time, so the referee gets punched in the face and that's going to be a DQ finish. Jim Ross says this is a new Triple H and Shane McMahon must be the one influencing Hunter to act this way, but Rock's going to show that he too has a mean streak as he cracks the steel chair over Triple H's head. The referee tries to raise Rock's hand in victory, but poor Earl takes another punch to the head, and Rock leaves the ring to attack Hunter, who's been busted wide open from that chair shot. Rock uses the ring steps, the ring post, and an electric fan on Triple H. He gets Hunter in the ring where Triple H could really use some help right about now, but Rock saw that help coming and he takes a chair away from Chyna. The post-match fight ends with Rock hitting the rock bottom before going for a people's elbow. Chyna stops Rocky and this allows Hunter to hit the Great One with multiple chair shots to the arm. So Mick Foley shows up once again to help Rock out and Hunter decides to leave with Chyna. Given what's happened at this show, it's unfair to judge wrestler performances, but I will say these two have had much better matches before and after this one. There was supposed to be 2 referees for our main event, but it looks like Shane's going solo, and that's good news for The Undertaker. Both Shane and The Undertaker represent the corporate ministry, so Steve Austin's at a severe disadvantage in this next match. Or at least that's what we thought. Pat Patterson's going to take Vince's place, and I remember thinking back then that Vince won't make an appearance at this show following the accident. But no, he does show up. He actually shows up. People have used this image of The Undertaker right here to show his displeasure about having to wrestle this match, but Undertaker was actually staring at Pat Patterson. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it can be tough separating the characters here from the real emotion, but it's also important to clear these misconceptions up. I'm 100% sure that The Undertaker was feeling it, but he's also always been a soldier for McMahon, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. The blood on the canvas too is also brought up a lot, but as you saw on Sunday Night Heat, this was from Matt Hardy putting his arm on the apron after the bloodbath. Taker chokeslams Patterson, so that's that problem taken care of. Austin throws his jacket and the Smoking Skull belt on the floor before stepping into the ring, and the match begins with both competitors throwing right hands before Austin takes a back elbow close to the ropes. I think Stone Cold was supposed to go over the top rope here, but it didn't quite work out that way. I will mention too that the crowd are into this. That hush around the arena is gone as the championship match gets underway. Austin struggles to get back in the ring, but he gets himself an opening before jumping off the top rope with a clothesline. That's something you don't see too often. Austin lays the boots in while flipping Shane off, and this makes Shane put his hands on Stone Cold and Austin stops his attack. Remember, if Austin lays a hand on Shane, then the Boy Wonders promise to strip Stone Cold of his WWF Championship. Undertaker goes on offense and Austin gets choked out at the ropes. The challenger targets Austin's left knee, but Austin gets out of a submission hold by repeatedly dropping his leg over Taker's head. I always like this spot, it's a desperation move that also looks pretty painful. Austin then goes after Undertaker's knee before delivering a low blow right in front of Shane, and Austin remains focused on the leg and knee while attacking in the corner. Taker gets his foot stuck around the middle and bottom rope, and I think this was legit. Austin stops attacking while Shane rushes in to free his corporate ministry teammate. A brief fight on the outside sees Stone Cold remain in control, and when the two get back inside, we go to the mat with both guys trying to make the other submit, but it ends with Austin laying in the punches. It seems that Austin does want to keep focus on the leg and knee as he looks to do some damage at the apron, but it's Paul Bearer who takes a shot right here, and this gives Taker the upper hand. Gonna be honest here, I'm not feeling this match at all so far. It's really hard to watch this one for what it is. The two fight in the audience before Undertaker chokes Austin at the announce table. Shane gives a slow count right here, and Undertaker then looks to smash the ring steps into Austin's knee. The spot didn't look bad, but it got no reaction at all. Back in the ring, Shane gives another slow count as Austin gets choked out again, and when the Undertaker tries to end it with a tombstone piledriver, the rattlesnake gets down and we get a pretty rough clothesline that was intended to send the Phenom over the top rope. They got there in the end though. Austin kicks Undertaker into the commentary table, and Shane's counting fast now as Austin does some more damage beside JR and the King. Back inside the ropes, the Undertaker counters a Luthez press, and this looked great. And here comes Paul Bearer getting in a few cheap shots with his stinking shoe. We go back to the outside, and this is beginning to remind me of the match these two had at Rock Bottom. It's Austin who maintains control here as he lays in a few shots at the rampway, and up at the entrance stage, the Undertaker punches a window prop before getting sent through another. Glass just works really well in pro wrestling, doesn't it? It always looks impressive, but I probably wouldn't say that to Goldberg. More brawling around the stage area, and it's Stone Cold staying firmly in the driver's seat. Both men are ignoring the damage they've done to each other's legs and knees, but again, it's unfair to judge the performances tonight. I know I'm nitpicking a bit. We go back to the ring for the match finish. Undertaker stands on Austin's neck, and the challenger then gets a bit irritated by the fans. Undertaker wastes way too much time here, and this allows Austin to perform a low blow, and Austin covers Undertaker after hitting his second rope elbow drop. Shane counts to 1, he counts to 2, but he doesn't count to 3, and this makes Austin pretty mad. Stone Cold gets up in Shane's face, and the Boy Wonder begins to panic. This gives Undertaker a chance to grab a steel chair from Paul Bearer, but Austin sees it coming. The Rattlesnake throws his opponent into the referee, and it's Shane who ends up taking a chair shot. Jerry Briscoe runs down to count the pinfall, but Undertaker kicks out at 2. Austin then takes a big boot, and the Undertaker clotheslines Briscoe. So once again, we have no referee as the Undertaker performs his jumping clothesline. The crowd are chanting for HBK, but instead they get Vince McMahon. McMahon hobbles down to the ring to help Steve Austin, but it doesn't quite work out that way. Austin and Undertaker set up at the exact same time, and they look at each other before standing up for a fist fight. Austin's able to hit the Stone Cold Stunner, he covers Undertaker, and Vince gets down to count the pin, but Shane stops Vince at 2, and this leads to Vince shoving his son down to the mat. Austin then wants a word with Vince, but Shane pushes his dad into the champion, and the Undertaker performs a roll-up. A fast count from Shane leads to the Undertaker winning the match, and we have a new WWF champion. Undertaker wins at Over The Edge. Austin has to fight off members of the corporate ministry before the show goes off the air, and there you have it. The finish of this match didn't suit The Undertaker at all, in my opinion. I know he's part of the corporate ministry, and I know there's a bigger story playing out in the background, but seeing Undertaker take chicken shit shortcuts to win a championship just wasn't right, and I think it done him more harm than good. Well, that's it over. I was dreading this show for a long time, and it took me a long time to watch this show and script this video, and it's a relief to see the end of it. The next Reliving the War video, Raw's Zone, is going to get covered next on the channel, and the May 24th Nitro is going to get covered shortly afterwards. Both are going to be separate uploads, so hopefully you come along and you check out both those videos. Over the Edge isn't a show you rate, it isn't a show you compare to previous events. I'll be personally glad to never watch it again. Take care, everyone.